Hello, my name is Kerry Barron. I'm a student at JTech, and I'm going to be going over the difference between full floating, semi-floating, and a three-quarter floating axle. Uh, First, I'm going to go over which axle is what type of axle. This axle here is a bigger, heavier axle. This is the full floating axle. It's used in three-quarter ton, 1 ton applications. Better for towing and stuff like that. This is a or a three-quarter floating axle. This particular axle is a 4.9 inch, which is a very popular axle for drag racing. They're kind of more expensive to manufacture, but they can handle more abuse than the semi-floater, which is this axle here. And they're used, both of these, the semi-floater and the three-quarter floater, which is here, and then the semi-floater here, are used in half-ton applications in cars or light-duty trucks. A semi-floating axle is cheaper and easier to manufacture. That's why it's used a lot in everyday applications. In order to take the axle out, which this axle is already removed on both sides, you'd have to take this differential cover off, and then what you do is you would push the axle in and remove the C-clip that's inside of here, and then pull the axle out that way, straight out the back. It's really easy to work on. The three-quarter floater is a little harder to work on, and also a little more expensive to manufacture. As you can see, this is a single whole axle tube instead of three pieces put together with different axle tubes, like the full floater and the half and the semi floater. But in order to remove the axle in this one, you would have to take this whole differential out of the front right here. It'll all come out as one piece, and then all you have to do is you have to unbolt the axle flange here, and then you also would have to unbolt the backing plate for the brakes, and then pull the axle straight out. With the full floater, you can see here, in order to remove the axle, you'd have to take the pin out of the center here. There's a bolt right here. You take the pin out, or this bolt out. You slide the pin out. Once you slide the pin out, you can take the axle and push the axle in far enough to get the C-clip off of the axle, and then you can take and unbolt the bolts at the axle flange. And once you do that, the axle will slide right out.